And good afternoon, Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Welcome to Special Report. I'm Chris Oakhorn. This is Colette Linden, and I'd like to thank KC Securities for being our title sponsor of both the morning show and the afternoon show for Special Edition.
With such enthusiasm.
Yes, I'm excited.
Add. Why are you so excited?
Because it's sunny outside, but it's not super hot. It's like a nice hot.
We're totally battling
Yes.
this because I think it's like feels like 30
Yes.
degrees.
Somebody thinks it's super hot.
I do
Someone
think it
thinks
is.
it's nice. But I'm also from Miami, so
No, I'm outside sweating and whatever.
This
think
is
you're
not super
silly.
hot if you come from Miami. This is like February.
Shut up, Chris. Actually, I've decided to call him Chrissy just
Yes.
because of the Sopranos thing.
Oh,
anyway, so I just wanted to talk quickly. We've got a couple things. Actually, no,
Yes.
you start. You start.
Yes, we are waiting for Doug Ford to come out. Christine Elliott, Deputy Premier, will also obviously be there.
Yeah.
But today there is Todd Smith. He's the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. And then Jamal Giovanni, who's the Ontario Advocate for Community Opportunities, are going to be there as well.
Interesting
They
portfolios.
have not leaked anything to the public on what this is about yet, to reporters or anyone. Nothing's shown up, so we're not sure what they're going to be talking about. My guess,
Peculiar.
it's going to be something to do with the community, because that's where the two of them intersect.
It's going to be something to do with
The community services.
Okay, yes. And actually, on that, Chris, today we received a press release from. What they want to do is take money from the police budget, a 10% from their budget line, and transfer that over to your social services budget. In Sault Ste. Marie specifically, that transfers over at $2.8 million that would go toward social services, still leaving police services with the highest budget in the city, which I can get the
Yes.
numbers for you, but it's quite significant.
And the purpose of that is they want to
actually-
be able to have mental health officers trained
That's right.
to respond to certain types of phone calls
So
that
you-
the
yeah.
police are presently responding to, but
That's
they
right.
don't necessarily have the same training that a mental
No,
health
they do
counselor
not.
does.
This is in response to the story we shared
Yep.
with you in Toronto, where the young girl her family had contacted the police services. They showed up. They told them on the phone it was, please come and take her to a mental health facility. We can't constrain her. Please help. Police went there. They heard their daughter screaming. She jumped off the balcony and died. There's an investigation into that. So what people are asking for, and it's happening today, there is a live press conference that we are going to go to here in Sault Ste. Marie. Danny Dupuis is there with the cameraman, and they are approaching Mayor Provenzano today to also ask that Sault Ste. Marie be involved with this, so that the 10% funding you can hire. Well, this is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
They must still be a police officer. They
Yes.
need to be trained or specialized in mental health issues, so that when the police receive the phone call that there's a mental health issue, please send a police officer, that they're sending the appropriate person to the scene.
Yeah.
So that's what today's all
Or they send a
about.
mental health officer with the police. There's another
That's true.
option
It's
too.
like a negotiator.
Yes.
I hate to use that term in this, but as a scenario that we could use just to
And other police
compare.
forces do things similar to this. So, for example, in New York, with the riots that have been going on,
Yeah.
the NYPD have also been sending a lawyer with some of the for the arrests on the curfew. And you'll see on the actual back it says NYPD legal.
Okay. I did not notice that. Yeah.
So some of the protests, I've seen that, and that's because they're sending a lawyer out with the police officers to enforce the curfews.
Okay. Well, that's a great
So
idea.
This would be something similar. They would have a mental health counselor
Yeah.
next to the police officer.
So it's a big story, and what's more important is that it's local to Sault Ste. Marie today. So we received a press release this morning that a petition had been distributed across the city here, and over 1,000 people have signed that to date. There is representation there from the Indigenous, from our Indigenous families, as well as another local community member who we're not too sure who has started this. Danny's getting more information as she's there, so we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants on this one.
We're waiting for two different news conferences to start, basically. Yes.
But we understand that Doug Ford, what he has to say is also extremely important, but because this is a local issue, we want to bring it to you, and we'll be cutting to Danny and then to the Premier. So, I don't know. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about Mayor Provenzano saying, yeah, let's take the 10% fund? It's 2.75 million to be exact. What are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty quick to be making a decision like that. I think that they've probably been talking about this already. I don't think this just started with the girl in Toronto. I think this is something
I think
that
it
they've
exasperated the conversation, and as well as the
they've
issues.
definitely been having this conversation for a while. The City Hall tends to also put things to a committee, consult with the community first. They don't just do something
They have
very
to go to a
quickly.
committee on this for sure, if not start their own committee around
exactly.
this.
So they're gonna it'd be interesting how they actually implement it. Like, how are they going to actually do it? Do you have a mental health person 24/7
Yeah.
working? Is it someone on call? How many are you going to have?
yeah.
There's all kinds of little issues that they're going to have to figure out logistically because, let's face
And
it,
to have the proper people
we're
in
a
the
smaller
city.
town.
That's
this
right.
This is not Toronto where you have a,
You have a vast majority to choose from. Okay,
There's-
we can go to
you know,
Mississauga, we can go to Brantford, Hamilton, and pick. You don't have your slim pickings, right? Or it's entice them to come move to this beautiful city would be a great.
yeah.
I just lost my train of thought there, Chris. So help me
Well,
out.
we were talking about the logistics. Well,
No.
in a city like Toronto, Toronto can afford to have 15 people
Yes, they
for
can.
mental health on staff and always have someone available.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're dealing with a smaller city like Sault Ste. Marie, our police force probably can't afford to have
No.
someone on mental health 24/7 because that would be 3 people per day
That's right,
on
on
an
the
8-hour
shifts.
shift.
That's
Plus
right.
you put in the weekends. This could be 6 or 7 full-time
Yeah.
positions if you did it like that.
Also, I have some experience with government budgets.
Yes.
This budget money is already spent. So this 10%, like this number doesn't magically appear and say, okay, police services, this is what you're getting. It's a complete report that takes months to put together in order to prepare for your next, your fiscal budget. So we are fine. I understand the importance of taking 10%, and I think it's a great initiative and a great idea, but I do agree with you. I think this needs to be slowed down a little bit. Let's think it through and find out what the repercussions are of taking this 10%.
Especially
What are
when
we taking
know,
away
like,
from?
Like just in the last city council, they talked about being $1 million short on one thing, and just on one thing, already because of COVID-19.
That's right.
Not to mention there's ongoing issues with regards to, letting people pay their taxes in the future. I mean, the city has a cash flow problem right now,
Yeah.
as long with most businesses.
And most
everybody
municipalities
has
do.
a cash flow
Yeah.
problem right now.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. So we're still trying to wait in here to find out in her ear here what's going on with Danny. As I mentioned, she's still live at this press conference in front of the Civic Center, which was supposed to begin at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And also the Premier is supposed to begin at 1 o'clock. But apparently the only 2 people on time today
Right, yeah.
are yours truly.
Yes, politicians are not known for being on time. How about we do weather while we're doing it?
Oh, yes, let's do it. I
Alrighty.
say it's hot, Chris says it's not.
Okay. In Miami, it's called February. In Sault Ste. Marie, it's called summer.
Just
It
say
is
the
23
weather.
degrees right now. It is going to have a high of 28. If we do hit 28, it's actually going to be at 5 p.m. So it's going to get a little bit warmer over the afternoon, so we could get as high as 28. The low of 15, you're not going to see that obviously till like midnight or something. Tomorrow is going to be very interesting because it's going to be partly sunny, partly cloudy, plus rain. So we're going to hit a bunch of different weather tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting weather day.
Oh, one of those days.
Yes.
Okay.
High of 25, low of 10 tomorrow. Saturday, starting to go back down a little. High of only 20 on Saturday and could go down to a low of 7.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trending like last weekend where it was like warm during the week. We got to the
perfect.
weekend and then kind of hit a little bit of a decline on the temperature scale.
Well, that's too
But
bad.
at least it's better than last weekend. Last
that's
weekend
true.
actually was -1 on Sunday morning when I got up. So
Yes, that was awful, wasn't it?
I know. That was a shock
awful.
to my system.
We have to go to a commercial, but when we get back, we want to talk to you about the Toronto Wolf Pack.
Yes,
They are a
the
rugby
rugby
team
team.
that's come up with a really cool idea.
Yes,
For
first
social
in the world.
distancing. First in the world. First in the world, and it is a rugby team. So we'll be back after this commercial break.
See you in a second.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades including installation are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Welcome back to this somewhat hectic Thursday for us, but we're fine by the seat of our pants. I don't even know what the script is. I think I threw it over there.
We have a
Plus,
script somewhere.
I can't read it anyways,
Yeah.
the font's too small. Welcome to...
Millennials printed it. Looks like Morse code to us.
Okay, let me thank you to the sponsors of Casey Security. There, we got it in. Okay, why don't you do some Facebook shoutouts,
Yes,
and then we'll go to the Wolfpack.
My mom just joined in. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Okay, so Erica says, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Erica.
But she did point out why I would be cold and you would be hot.
Yes.
Sleeves. So thank you, Erica, for pointing out the obvious fact that she's wearing a black dress with long sleeves.
Listen.
And I got the short sleeves going. I got the golf shirt going. I'm all excited.
It's Antarctica in here with this air conditioner.
It is. Yes, I agree. It is.
You know, I'm inside most of the time, but yes, Erica, you are correct. And as soon as I get home, this is coming off. This is not a good choice to wear today, but good choice for inside. We are just getting a phone call with regards to that press conference we were talking about, I believe.
Live on the air?
So we're just going to kind of wait and see. But what we wanted to
let's talk Wolfpack.
Let's talk Wolfpack.
Well, that's going on.
Okay, Toronto Wolfpack are looking at providing fans.
They're a rugby team for those that don't know.
They are a rugby team, yes. Which it's crazy that this is the only sports team in the world who has thought about this product.
Yes.
Because they're not a big
they play at Lamport Stadium in Toronto.
I played there.
The stadium only seats like 9,000 people. It's smaller than BMO Field where like the Argos and TFC, Toronto FC play.
Anyways, we could talk to each other and forget. Sorry. Lamport Stadium. I played soccer there. Great stadium. So they want to... They have providing fans with disposable tracking bracelets and wristbands during games to allow for contact tracing in case of COVID-19 once the team returns to play. The Transatlantic Rugby League team has struck a deal with TraceSafe Technologies to use its wearable tracking products and services to help and safely reopen. The Wolfpack say they're the first pro sports team in the world to embrace this.
They are,
The bracelet can also alert if they are in an area of the stadium they shouldn't be or not physical distancing.
Exactly. So just to give people an idea of what this bracelet does, if I'm wearing one and Colette's wearing one, it's going to make us 6 feet apart. We get too close, it'll beep, tell us we're too close.
Yes.
And we are getting something in our ear.
Yes, we're getting beeped right now. We are going to go live to Danny at the press conference.
Yes,
over
City
to
Hall.
Danny.
Start recording now. And, yep, good.
So were you going to ask me a question or just...
Okay.
Do you have a statement prepared?
Yeah. Yep, you can go ahead.
Okay. So today I'd like to talk about a few things. It's been a worldwide movement of different groups of people asking for defunding of the police, and I think there's not a good understanding of what that is. So defunding the police does not mean stripping a department of its budget or abolishing it altogether. It's about scaling back budgets and relocating those resources to other agencies, investing in communities, education, and medical access. People call it defunding, but it's about balancing budgets in a different way. So the concept is really simple. When cities start investing in community services, they reduce the need to call the police officers. So there's been studies, one in 2018 in New York City, New York University found that in a city of 100,000 people, each new profit community organization led to a 1.2% drop in the homicide rate and a decrease in the violent crime rate and community crime rate and property crime. So expanding social and economic programs for under-resourced communities actually leads to an overall decrease in crime. That is because crime is often a response to social conditions. More policing cannot fix social conditions. Only investments in communities can. When people get the help they need earlier, they're less likely to end up in the kind of dangerous situations that police might be called to diffuse. Situations that have often turned deadly for those individuals. Between 1990 and 2016, 142 people were killed by the police in Ontario alone. And the police has a really good report online about violence within the police community. So the hospital in Sault Ste. Marie and the Sault Ste. Marie Police Services, they started a mental health team in late 2014. The team decides who needs help immediately and who can be assisted by community agencies. However, Chief Stevenson has discussed in ongoing talks Ways to reduce the time the city police officers end up spending in the Salt Area Hospital on mental health calls. Police should not be spending hours sitting in a hospital with mental health patients. They're police officers. They are not mental health professionals. We need to fund the expansion of social services, mental health crisis teams, mental health facilities, and we need to train mental health community workers and hire more physicians. Community members are often quick to judge others who need social and mental health services, but they need to remember some very obvious points. No one wants to have mental health issues. No one wants to be treated differently because of the color of their skin. No one wants to deal daily with social and political disparities because of the color of their skin or their community. No one as a child says, I want to grow up and have debilitating mental health issues. No one as a child ever imagines that they will bear the burden of colonization, of intergenerational trauma of their parents and grandparents. Or the burden of addiction. No one grows up saying, I want to serve in the war, and I want to live with debilitating lifelong PTSD for which I cannot get treatment. Yet here we are, with literally thousands of people who require mental health services, veterans, EMTs, and even the police. Services that are most often not available unless you have the money to pay for private centers. If we fund social services and mental health facilities and we hire more physicians and mental health workers, we create programs for education of mental health workers, specifically here in the North, we will get to a place where we don't need to call the police, where they're not spending hours sitting in an emergency room rather than policing the community for crime. They won't be in a position where they have to decide who goes to the hospital and who does not. The police are not doctors. They do not need to be assessing mental health patients on the street. This is a job that a trained mental health medical crisis team can do. Sault Ste. Marie needs more social services, more mental health beds, more mental health professionals, more funding for education, facilities, and mental health care professionals and social services in the community. We need a permanent...
And welcome back. Thank you, Danny, for covering that down at City Hall for us today. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Wolfpack.
Right?
Yes,
okay,
we were in the middle of that when we... we're waiting for Doug Ford. He'll be on in just a minute.
Yes, he'll be on shortly.
About 2 minutes here.
Okay, so again, it's a bracelet.
Yes.
It'll help you with your contact tracing.
Yes. It's all done by Bluetooth as well.
It is.
Yes. So there'll be Bluetooth signals across the entire facility that are in this case, the stadium.
Yep.
And it will know.
There they are there.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, Mike.
And it will know, one, where you are. So
Yep.
let's say Colette has COVID-19 2 weeks from now, and I don't. It would actually know that we were within 6 feet of each other and should be tested. And Doug Ford's coming up. Here we go.
This has been a difficult year for all of us. We've been put to the test in more ways than one. And as I've said before, it's not the challenge that defines us, it's how we face it. As a society, as a people, we're coming face to face right now with the hardest issues, the most difficult topics. And there's a lot of pain in Canada, in the US, and around the world. We must acknowledge this pain and where it's coming from. And it's only by facing these issues head on that we can address them, that we can move forward. And my friends, it starts with our young people. It starts with our next generation. It starts with equipping them with the tools they need. It starts with economic opportunities, education opportunities, and supports. It starts with giving every young person from every community, from every neighborhood, the tools to succeed, the opportunity to reach their full potential. So today, we're continuing the important work our government started months ago. We are launching the Premier's Council for Equality of Opportunity, I want to thank Jamil Giovanni, the province's advocate for community opportunities, along with Minister Todd Smith, for bringing this important initiative forward. For years, Jamal has been doing incredible work on these critical issues, and I am so proud to have him here today. I am proud to have Jamal working hand in hand, doing incredible work on these critical issues, and I am so proud to have him here today. I am proud to have Jamal working hand in hand with the team. The Council will bring together experts and young people with lived experiences from different backgrounds and walks of life, young people from marginalized communities. Together, they will tackle the barriers our young people face when it comes to education, skills training, and employment. And as an immediate priority, the Council will identify strategies to support vulnerable and marginalized youth to recover from the effects of COVID-19 outbreaks. And this will include a $1.5 million in new funding. We will use our community partners to deliver the $1.5 million in new funding through the Network for the Advancement of Black Communities to help respond to the challenges of COVID-19. Our partners will help us prioritize the immediate needs of these communities. My friends, our government is working for every person in Ontario, no matter what background, what region. We are here for you. And no matter what, to help respond to the challenges of COVID-19. Our partners will help us prioritize the immediate needs of these communities. My friends, our government is working for every person in Ontario, no matter what background, what region. We are here for you. And no matter what, we will always have your back. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. I'll pass it over to Minister Smith.
Well, thanks very much, Premier, and it's great to join you here this afternoon as we introduce Jamil Giovanni officially to the people of Ontario. I'm happy to be here to join Premier Ford and Jamil Giovanni to announce the new Premier's Council on Equality of Opportunity. Ontario's economy is changing rapidly, and many young people simply lack access to the education and training that they need to achieve long-term success. While these issues affect nearly all young people in our province, for our most vulnerable, families and youth, these barriers can be overwhelming. Over the past couple of months, the COVID-19 outbreak has intensified this. Children, youth, and families who were already facing systemic barriers have seen further challenges arise as a result of this pandemic. Today, I'm announcing that our government is allocating $1.5 million in immediate supports to help Black communities recover from the disproportionate impacts that they're facing as a result of COVID-19. An immediate priority of the new Council is to explore solutions to help youth overcome social and economic challenges and recover from the effects of COVID-19. It's essential for us to hear a wide range of perspectives and ideas as we support youth to break down the barriers that they're facing so they can succeed in Ontario's changing economy. Their advice is going to be essential as we work to break down the barriers preventing young people from achieving their economic goals. I want to join the Premier and Jamil in inviting the young people of Ontario to apply for the Premier's Council on Equality of Opportunity. You're in the best position to tell us about your communities, your needs, and your lives. Your perspectives and ideas can help us develop better supports for Ontario's most vulnerable families and youth. We need your voices at this time. Together, I know we can build a province where everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. Thank you, and I'd like to now introduce to you Jamil Giovanni to say a few words.
Thank you, Premier Ford and Minister Smith. Before I speak about the new Premier's Council, I'd like to first acknowledge the pain that I've seen over the past week. Black communities in our province, including my family, friends, neighbors, the congregation I attend church with, and many more, are saddened and outraged by what has transpired in the United States, in part because what is happening south of the border is also drawing attention to racism and racial inequalities within our own nation. This pain has not gone unnoticed. To those of you who hear my voice, I assure you that I see it, I hear it, and I feel it. Last December, Premier Ford appointed me as Ontario's first ever advocate for community opportunities. In doing so, he recognized that many families, including many Black families, have been forgotten by governments for too long. We did not wait for CNN to tell us that there is a problem. Rather, we've been working on these issues for months because it's the right thing to do. With that said, I'd like to highlight some of the relevant actions we have taken on behalf of the people of Ontario. We are investing in and expanding the Black Youth Action Plan, which provides tens of millions of dollars to support Black organizations that amplify the voices of Black communities on a wide variety of issues, including issues in the justice system. We are the first government in Ontario history to start meaningfully addressing the impact of school suspensions and streaming policies on Black students and their academic achievement. And there's more on that to come in the near future. We launched a $200 million social services relief fund during the COVID-19 pandemic to protect the most disadvantaged and vulnerable people in our province. We have continued to support the Anti-Racism Directorate in this government. And most recently, today we announced that we are providing $1.5 million to Black community organizations to help with COVID-19 recovery, both the health and economic consequences of COVID-19. Importantly, I want to say, and I cannot emphasize this enough, our efforts are not over, nor are they complete. We recognize more action must be taken, and more action will be taken. And that's precisely why we are announcing the new Premier's Council on Equality of Opportunity. Through this council, we will bring together a diverse group of leaders, experts, and youth members who will offer the insights to our government that we need to make the impact that communities demand and deserve. We will advise Premier Ford on how to best help young workers from disadvantaged communities succeed in a changing economy. And through this council, we will continue working toward a more just and more fair society. Thank you.
We'll go to the phone line for questions.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back.
Quick,
that was
go, go,
Doug
go.
Ford's news conference.
We've got 20
Yeah,
seconds.
we got 20 seconds. Okay, so here we go. 5 p.m. tonight, newscast with the wonderful Colette Linden. 7 p.m., Chris Oldcorn's show. More of my interview with Lisa Vezo-Allen, Ward 2 Councillor here in Sault Ste. Marie. And also, I talk a little bit about how we feel about our personal finances as well. And I will see you tonight at 7. See you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., special report. Enjoy your day.
Have an awesome day.